Welcome to another episode of How to ABX. It is Paralyze season, and it is 10/9/2023. Today is Blast Mail Day, so we are going to do a head-to-head with the best of the best, Magneto, and we're going to compare him against Doctor Strange's new uniform and see who's better. Probably Magneto, but because I like Doctor Strange, I want to do both. Magneto's rotation is not really rotation. You spam. 5's the only one you want to delay until the bubble appears, and then you're good to go. Everything else you just instantly cancel as quick as possible and get in as many as you can. So let's go ahead, without further ado, show that, and then I will show you a run with Doctor Strange, and then we'll talk about the builds and compare and see what they're capable of doing. All right, so Magneto, right in. 5, 4, 2, 1, 3. Pause for a second, turn down that volume. Woo, that's loud. All right. Co-op, as soon as the things come off cooldown, I'm just clicking them right away. Like I said, there's no real rotation of this. U7, as soon as it's ready, he can cancel with multiple skills. You don't need to save anything. You'll be ready to cancel at his 3 roars. First roar, of course, is at 209. Next roar is at 116. And then the last roar is at 38. This is specific to Paralyze season. As the other 2 seasons, he will roar for a second roar at 126 instead of 116. You can delay the roars. It doesn't happen all the time, but just keep that in mind. But yeah, we just want to spam like crazy. We're using his own leadership, double support going on here. Using Black Widow, who is tier 4 with a rage, probably the best striker for ABX. So we'll transfer her over to Doctor Strange. He's about to jump center here in a second. All right. As soon as he's targetable, we're just going to pop that 5 and then just go right into all the skills. And, again, spam them. All right. So far, that's a pretty nice first roar score. So I think this is going to be a pretty good one. I need better cards, and I know that. But with the cards I've got so far, I score pretty high in ABX. All right. Keep laying on the pain. Yeah, this is going to be hard to beat. Very good chance I'm going to break 15 million today. All right. Coming up on, remember, 116 is the next roar. We don't really need to save anything for sure. Like, 2 has a pretty short cooldown. And then, of course, we also have the 7. I probably could have saved my 6 there because I have a feeling, yeah, he's going to jump mid. And I'm going to lose some of the damage there, but that's okay. As soon as he's targetable, we go ahead and use our skills. There's that second cancel. That's why I call him Spam Nito. Just spam those skills. You do want to put a priority on 6 and 7 so that you can get cooldown on them. But everything else, I mean, it doesn't hurt to have like 2 and 3 have a little bit of a delay. Actually, I'm sorry, 2 and 1 have a little bit of a delay, but I really don't feel like it changes the score that much. But letting them go off a little bit longer, saving them to the end if you have multiple skills ready at once, does do a little bit more damage. All right, here's his last cancel right here. As soon as he's targetable, like I said, just go into the skills. We can cancel on 2, 3, 6, and 7 because of the striker. And you see that by the green thumbs up. But if you've been playing for a while, you already know that. Alright. Are we going to actually break 15 today? I know we don't have the Dazzler support or Valkyrie or anything like that, so there's other team-ups that work better for Magneto, but I don't know, man. I'm going to be hard-pressed to hit 15 mil at this point. Oh, that's disappointing. I know Blast Day, it's a little bit different because I'm using someone like Cyclops versus a normal team-up, but we'll talk about other team-ups. So that's a score to beat, 14.8 million. I really think I probably could hit 15 million. I think I have in the past, but we're going to go with whatever he scores and do a quick comparison to Doctor Strange. So with Doctor Strange, we are going to quickly change Magneto Striker so that we can give Black Widow to Doctor Strange. We're going to keep Cyclops on the team, use Doctor Strange's leadership, and switch you over to Black Widow, which is also an instinct type match, and we're going to give you Coulson, who has an insight. We'll talk about all that. I think this is pretty much the best team for Doctor Strange for today. Just double checking, I'm pretty sure 45 is higher. That's also 45, so we'll give him his own leadership, also not hesitating, so we can get right into the action. All right. So here's Doctor Strange's rotation. I know a lot of people are still experimenting with him. I've had the most success with this. I'm basically going to do 5. I'm going to delay the cancel until it pops. I'm going to do a 3-2-4. I'm going to let 4 finish. He puts his hand out, pulls it back. Then I do a 1. I'm going to do some auto attacks as a filler and then do a second round of 3-2-4-1. And with that second round, they're both amplified by the 5. You'll see the ground is still red, so that's kind of cool. And then 6 will be ready every time 5's ready, so every other rotation, it's going to be 6-5 in front of the 3-2-4-1. And you just kind of rinse and repeat. You want to hit that 6 as soon as possible. If for some reason you're delayed on being able to hit the 6, you do want to cancel it into the 5 so you can keep your procs on that 3-2-4-1. All right, let's go ahead and show that in action, and we'll see what sort of comparison we have with the overall score. All right, so right away I'm going to do the 5. 3-2-4. Hand goes out right here, and then hand retracts. 1, auto attacks until 3's ready. 3-7-2-4. Hand goes out. I can move around. Hand comes back. 1-6 right away. Images appear. 5-2-3-2-4. 7. Hand goes out. Hand comes back. 1. Auto attacks. Rinse and repeat. Pretty simple rotation, but it's a tight rotation. Any sort of delays are going to affect your ability to score as much as possible. I am really hoping he's meta today because he's my favorite character, but time will tell. So far, it's not looking too good. Because remember, Magneto is up to about 8 million something by the first roar, and there is the 8 million. He's about to jump center. We can cancel with a few skills here, so let's see if we can slip this cancel in. Yeah, that cancel goes in right away. So we also have a couple skills to cancel with today for Doctor Strange. So there's a chance. He has a fighting chance here. Now, I don't have a tier 4 Cable to compare, so I don't know how he stacks up against Cable. But as far as I can tell from other people's accounts and from my own experimentation, Magneto is still the meta for today, even over Cable. So, Doctor Strange is the competitor. Remember, we can cancel with that 6, so that's why I'm going straight into it. I'm keeping the rotation tight. I don't want to wait. I don't want any space or gap between my rotations because I want to keep those procs on. And as you can see in the top left corner, I'm keeping most of them on fairly well and fairly tightly. What you don't want is you don't want your procs to start too early in the 6. And that's why you don't want that delay there. But these auto attacks in between, I do feel like they help. I have seen other people use like a 1-2 at the end and let 2 run, but 2 kind of locks him down into place, so I don't like using that 2. He's going to jump center here, and I'm going to lose damage on that 4, so I actually probably could have done more there, but it's all right. We're gonna work with it anyway. Ooh, this is going to be close. Oh, he outscored Magneto. Not by a lot, but by a little bit. So is it possible and safe to say that Doctor Strange is meta for today? Maybe. Doctor Strange might be Blast Day ABX meta. Now, I do have a sizable build that's better, and that's why I want to go over the builds too. So for my account, I probably will use Doctor Strange for today because I'm not going to build Magneto up this much, even though he's also one of my favorite Marvel characters. So 15,162,224. Let's talk about teams. Let's talk about accounts. Let's talk about who I have, how I have them built, and why I'm making the decisions I have, and show you why I think Doctor Strange is outscoring Magneto, and I don't think it's a fair comparison. Cards. I always show my cards. I'm just going to show them briefly. So here are the card effects. You want to pause it, you can go ahead and read those. Here are the swords. Likewise, it affects the whole count, and it's important to at least see that if you're trying to figure out why my account is scoring what it is. I also want to point out that I have a team-up collection, so Doctor Strange also gets a bonus from this, including an additional 1% pierce and an additional +9 to all attack. So I do have all the stuff because I just build my account ridiculously. Okay, so there's all the bonuses that are coming in to Doctor Strange. Let's look at Doctor Strange's build first, since he outscored. I'm rank 7 currently in the game. I've got most of the important skills capped. If we go over here to his Uru, they're all Odin's Blessings, and they're all amplified. This is something that Magneto doesn't have, so this is one of the parts where Doctor Strange is a better build overall. Of course, we're both using Black Widow. Black Widow tier 4 with a Rage is a great striker. I'm not recommending you build her for that, but a built striker does better than a normal striker, and in general, it seems like Black Widow just increases the ABX score. I've had this recommended to me from other players. I've tested multiple different strikers, and this seems to do the best, so I've been using it ever since. So I put her on every one of my ABX teams unless I need another striker for canceling. Type is maxed out. ISO 8 is overdrive. Everything's maxed out there. I've got a instinct type match custom artifact here with a plus 20. Those are the artifact effects right there. It does increase attack and all that. So if I had that 6-star, it would be even better. So it's a 5-star. And I do have a brilliant CTV of Rage, which is his other bonus. So he has his own artifact. He has all Odin's Blessings, and he has a brilliant Rage. So it is an unfair comparison. So if Magneto had the same build, Magneto would probably win today. So I have a feeling that Doctor Strange is not meta, even though on my account it's probably my best option. He has Enraged at the top, which is the best option here. It is rolled to a 1%, which could be a little bit higher. So he has Mythic Uniforms and all Mythic Uniform options, because again, he's my favorite character, so I stack him as much as I can. His overall energy attack is 114,000. All right, let's go ahead and go over here to Magneto. So Magneto's details. His all attack is only 99,000. So again, there's a difference there. His overall stats, again, all the important ones are capped. If we go over here to his custom gear, he does have a lot of Odin's Blessings. Again, he is one of my top 3 favorite characters. Magneto, Doctor Strange, and Shang-Chi are my top 3 favorite characters. Everything is amplified, of course. His skills, I was using Black Widow, but I switched it so I could run Doctor Strange, but you saw that. He has the power of the Angry Hulk. Everything's maxed out here. He has a destruction artifact that's only a +9, so it's not his own artifact. And he only has a Mighty Rage with Enraged at 180%, and it's at a 0.9% for its roll. His uniform is Mythic. I don't think all of his uniform options are Mythic like Doctor Strange's are. Let me just double check. Mythic. Okay. All of his uniform options are Mythic as well. So that's his overall stuff. So that's the comparison. So Doctor Strange has a sizably better build. That means, again, it's not a fair comparison. Now let's look at team-up options and other alternate options for today, just in case you don't have either of these characters' uniforms, because that's the other thing to consider too. Doctor Strange is the free-to-play option. Magneto's uniform is a seasonal uniform, so if you don't get it during the season, during the winter season, then you don't have the uniform. Doctor Strange you can pretty much buy whenever you want, so there's that thing to keep in mind as well. With Doctor Strange's team-up, I'm using his own self-leadership. I am using Cyclops, who gives this passive 40% increased energy attack for all allies. That is a character I'm using with both teams, so they're both getting that bonus. And for Coulson here, he is giving guaranteed crit rate, which Doctor Strange does not need at all, and he's giving an extra 45% damage dealt, which is an incredible boost. Coulson also has an insight. So that's the team I'm using for Doctor Strange. Now, as far as Magneto goes, I'm using Magneto's self-leadership again. This time it's 50% instead of 45%. And I'm using Mysterio with the summer seasonal uniform. Again, a second seasonal uniform now. Now, this is worth an insight, so he has an insight. And his bonus is on his uniform. Without his uniform, you wouldn't want to use this character. So if you don't have Mysterio, again, Doctor Strange is probably going to be a better option. So you need 2 seasonal uniforms versus just 1. You don't necessarily need Cyclops' uniform to have at least a little bit of a bonus, and Coulson only works for heroes. Supervillains here get 30% all attack, and they get 40% increased damage dealt. So that's the team up I'm using for Magneto. Both characters have an insight. Definitely some options there. Other considerations. I think Magneto is still going to be meta for today. Unfortunately, it's facts. Now, my Doctor Strange, like I said, is built better, so I will use Doctor Strange for myself, but Magneto is the way to go, in my opinion. If you have different data or information, please leave it below in the comments. You could also use Cable Tier 4. I think that would be 3rd best option. You could use Professor X Tier 4. You could use Iron Man Tier 4. Aside from those, I don't think I would consider anyone else for today, but you do have a lot of options. If you're going with someone like Iron Man, actually, Star-Lord. Star-Lord's another option. I apologize. Star-Lord has a self-leadership. Rocket Raccoon will actually increase and amplify for Guardians of the Galaxy characters. And then you could throw in someone like Coulson, because he's also a hero. So I would probably say Magneto would be number 1, and either maybe Doctor Strange number 2, followed by Star-Lord, and then I would start looking at other characters like Cable, Iron Man, or Professor X. Since I don't have them tier 4, it's hard to give you first-hand experience data. The only tier 4 characters I have are my 2 favorites, so take it for what it is. That's why I build my teams the way that I do. That's what I scored for today. Thank you for watching. As always, may your ABX scores be as high as possible, and I will catch you in the next one.